Is it going?
This one is.
Yeah, mine is too. Great.
Perfect.
Hey everybody, / nobody that's here yet, / everybody who's here on Rape Counselors of East Alabama's page. I'm Alene. I am a certified registered yoga teacher, 200 hours according to the piece of paper they gave me, and I'm here to share with you guys some Yin Yoga. It's been quite some time since I've gone online to teach, and I'm so excited to be here with my friend Faith, who I occasionally may be like cueing specifically. If I do that, just kind of take what I say to her as stuff that you should be doing too. But let's get rolling. So Yin Yoga, as those of you who have practiced with me before know, is kind of different than the active forms of yoga that we're used to doing. We're going to hold poses for like anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes, and we stay in them for so long to work into the fascia. So the fascia is like the connective tissue, your tendons, your ligaments, all that connective tissue that like connects your bones to each other that doesn't normally get worked in active yoga when we're focusing on our muscles. Getting into that really helps with your flexibility, and it also can help teach us stillness of body and mind, which is really cool. And let's see, anything else? If you guys have injuries, obviously listen to your body. Your body is your guru, so it'll tell you what it needs. If you don't look like me in a pose, that's totally fine. That's totally normal. Don't push yourself, is all I'm trying to say. I'm going to be saying find your edge a lot. That means that we want a place between discomfort and pain where you're at that you can feel like a really active stretch, but you're not actively pushing into a muscle. Active stretch being like you can feel discomfort, but it's not sharp, it's not numb, it's not tingling, okay? So we are going to start in child's pose. So you can do this either with your knees together or your knees apart, and then just start to walk your arms out long in front of you. Relax your shoulders down your back, and then you can relax your head down to the mat. And just really start to tune into your breath here. Notice what's going on in your body. Notice if there's any tension or anything that y'all are holding on to. Stay in child's pose if you're still with me. Relax your forehead. Relax the hinges of your jaws. Relax your shoulders all the way down to the tips of your fingers and your hips, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Start to become aware of your breath, and picture that you're filling up your belly to your low ribs, to your upper chest, just like you would fill a pitcher of water from the bottom to the top. And then as you exhale, you're emptying that pitcher from the top to your chest, to the middle of your low ribs, to your belly. Really using your core and your abdominal muscles to help you. Let's do that again. Inhale from your belly to your low ribs, to your chest. Exhale, let it all go from your chest to your ribs to your belly. Do a quick check and a scan of your body again. See where you're holding on to tension. See where you can relax and surrender your body down to your mat just a little deeper. If you can notice like one specific point of tension, as you inhale, direct your breath towards it, like it's some deep, dark, scary, shadowy part. Sticking into your hip or your shoulders, direct that light of your breath towards it, and then as you exhale, let it all go through your mouth, through your nose. Let it carry that shadow out. On your next inhale, lift up onto the tips of your fingers and slowly start to walk your fingertips over to the right side of your mat. Once you get to a comfortable spot for you, and you can really feel a stretch on the left side of your body, you can lay your head back down. Notice the space that you're creating in your left ribs now. Notice the pull underneath your left arm. Focus on the Dirga Pranayama, that inhale, that belly breathing. Notice how it feels different here on this side with your body in this position. Notice where you can relax into the pose, deepen a little more. Maybe walk your fingertips a couple inches further to the right now that you've relaxed in here. Then on your next inhale, lift up again onto your fingertips. Slowly walk through. Pause in the middle. Notice how the two sides of your body feel differently now. And then lift back up again. Gently walk over to the left side. And relax your head down. Same thing here with every inhale. Notice the space being created in your right low ribs. Try to pin your right hip down towards your right heel a little deeper. Intensifying that stretch. A couple more breaths here. Next inhale, lift up onto your fingertips. Walk back towards the middle and slowly press your fingertips towards your body until you come up to sit. Let your eyes come softly closed here. Bring your palms to press together at your heart, thumbs against your sternum. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down onto your back. Relax your forehead and the hinges of your jaws, your shoulders down your back to your hips, down to your toes. Sit up tall like there was an invisible string pulling you up from the crown of your head. Let your chin come parallel to the floor. Softly blink your eyes open. You can release your hands down to your sides. So now we're going to go into thread the needle. That's a really nice shoulder stretch. You should feel it on the external side of the back of your shoulder blade. So how we're going to get into that, you come forward onto your hands and your knees. You want your knees directly underneath your hips, knees at a right angle, wrists directly underneath your shoulders. Look at your pointer fingers. They should be parallel with the edges of your mat, the long ones. Fully press down into your palms, press down into the tops of your shins. And on an inhale, bring your right arm up and overhead. Look at your right fingertips. And then exhale. Thread that right arm between your left palm and your left knee. Try to square your hips here to your mat so that your right hip is playing back, your left hip forward. Pull your left hip back, your right hip forward. You can stretch your left fingertips long overhead, or if you're comfortable in this twist, you can bring your left arm up overhead. Bring the flat of your palm to your right hip. If that's comfortable for you, you can take a full bind, so wrap your hand around your right thigh. Really start to relax into your body here. Allow that space to be created behind your shoulder blade. See where you're gripping unnecessarily in your body right now. See where you can relax just a little more. And relax your jaw. Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your shoulder deep down into the mat. Let the earth support you. Feel it beneath you. Recognize that you can trust it. You can surrender. You can surrender your body to this moment. If you ever get to a point where you've taken a modification, like say you've taken this bind, and you start to feel uncomfortable, any kind of numbness, tingling in your hands, feel free to just move back to any of the other previous variations. Stretch your arm overhead. You can keep your palm pressed by your face if that's comfortable for you. Play around, see what feels good in your body right now. When you're ready, bring that left palm back to the side of your face. And on an inhale, press down into the floor. Raise your right arm back up overhead. Look at your fingertips. And then exhale your right hand down. You can take a second. You can do some cat-cow, so drop your hips. Look at your navel, create space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, drop your chest. Let your sit bones come up, look up, cow pose. Exhale to press into the floor. Look at your navel. Cat pose. And then on your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. Check your hips again. Check your hands, that your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Make sure you're not locking your elbows. Make sure that your right hand is firmly planted in the floor. And on your next inhale, raise your left arm up and overhead. Look at your left fingertips. Exhale, thread that left hand between your right hand and your right knee. You can walk your right arm up and overhead, stretching long along the right side of your body. Again, try to square your hips. Pull your left hip forward, your right hip back. Start to surrender down into that left shoulder blade. Invite that space on the back side of your body. Invite that space on the outer edge of the right side of your body. If you want to take the bind, raise your right arm up overhead. Back of your palm flat against the outside of your left hip, or wrap it fully around your left thigh. There's hair at my head. Really tune into your breath here. Notice whether it's shallow or deep, what you're bringing into practice with you today. Notice if there's a particular thought, or stream of thoughts, or a theme that's coming to you when you sit in this pose. It might just be, wow, this sucks, this is uncomfortable, why are we here for so long? You might be stressing over school, or over quarantine, or over work, over some boy. Whatever it is, just like with the physical tension in your body, use your breath like a wind to carry the clouds of those thoughts out of your mind. Just let them drift across the sky of your mind field, just like you can't pluck clouds down out of the sky, examine them and pick them apart. We can't do the same thing with our thoughts. You're not your thoughts, you're not your mind, you're simply an observer, so sit down here and watch them float away. A couple more breaths here. As you inhale, really focus on how your side body opens up. When you're ready, you pull your right palm next to your face, plant it down to the mat, and then on an inhale, press into the floor. Raise your left arm up, overhead, look at your fingertips. Exhale, set them down. You can do a couple more rounds of cat and cow if that's comfortable for your spine. Inhale, drop your chest, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, press into the floor, look at your navel, create space between your shoulder blades. Inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. So from here, we're going to shoelaces pose. So I'm going to turn this way, just so you guys can see me a little better. I think you can, I'm not too bright. We have a ring light. So take your left knee and move it a little more towards your midline, and then pick up your right knee, cross it behind your left, and then start to sit back. So this is called shoelaces pose because theoretically, both of the tops of your feet should be touching the mat. It's okay if your knees are separate. It's okay if this knee is not anywhere close to this one. It's totally fine. The most important thing is that both of your hip bones are firmly planted down on the mat. So to do that, you may need to move your right heel a little further away from your left hip. If your left foot isn't even touching the ground, that's fine too. Just focus on grabbing the tops of your feet, pulling your feet in towards your hips, and you should feel a pretty deep stretch on both of the outer edges of your hip. Once you've gotten comfortable here, sit tall, pull yourself up through the crown of your head, just like we did in the beginning, and then on an exhale, start to walk your hands out forward. You can bring your body down to relax over your legs, adding that extra weight. If that's too much for you, you can totally also just stay here sitting up. I'm going to stay sitting up here because I have something that I would like to read and share with you while you sit here in stretchy suffering. It's called A Truckload of Dung. I was telling Faith before we started, I'm going to have to say dung at least 10 times. So, this is from one of my favorite books called Opening the Door of Your Heart. It's by Ajahn Brahm. He's a monk who's now based in Perth, Australia. And these are just anecdotes from his life and anecdotes that other monks have shared with him that we take for our lives. This one is about finding your own happiness in unexpected places. So, unpleasant things, like coming bottom of our class, happen in life. They happen to everyone. The only difference between a happy person and someone who gets depressed is how they respond to disasters. So imagine you've just had a wonderful afternoon at the beach with your friend, and then when you return home, you find a huge truckload of dung has been dumped right in front of your door. There are 3 things to know about this truckload of dung. The first is that you didn't order it, so it's not your fault that it's there. The second is that you're stuck with it. Nobody saw who left it there. You can't call anyone to take it away. The third thing that you need to know is it is filthy and offensive, and its stench fills your whole house. It's almost impossible to endure. So, in this metaphor, the truckload of dung in front of your house stands for the traumatic experiences that are dumped on us in life. Just like your truckload of dung, there are 3 things to know about tragedy in our lives. The first is that we didn't ask for it, we didn't order it. We just say, why me? The second is that we are stuck with it. No one, not our best friends, not our family, no one can take it away, even as hard as they may try. The third thing is that it's so awful and can be such a destroyer of our happiness that its pain can fill our whole life. It's almost impossible to endure. So there's two ways to respond to being stuck with this. And I'll tell you when we get out of this lovely pose and into the next one. So if you've come down with me here, press into your hands, walk your fingertips back towards your body, sit up tall, and then roll forward onto your hands and your knees. Uncross your knees. You can take a couple hip circles if you want, one or both sides. You can lean back into child's pose for a second. Shake out your hips. Shake out your body. Give yourself a chance to reset. And then come back to hands and knees. Move your right knee towards your midline this time. Pick up your left knee. Cross it behind your right. Let the tops of your feet lay flat to the floor. And then come to sit back on your sit bones. This side may be more flexible, maybe more difficult than the other one. Just observe what your body's doing without judging it. Two different legs, two different hips, two different feelings. It's totally normal. And the most important thing that we can find in the stillness that comes with Yin is that universal, non-judgmental, non-attached self-acceptance that comes with just watching and being. So from here, if you're comfortable here, totally cool. Stay here. You can put your hands at heart center. You can rest your palms face up on your knee, or you can come with me. Walk your fingertips out. Let your head collapse down. Again, make sure that both of your hips are firmly down, planted onto the floor. You may need to move your your left heel away from your right hip, and I'll twist it around. That side is wet. So, to carry on, there's two ways that we can respond to these truckloads of dung, or to these tragedies that happen in our lives. So the first way, we can carry it around with us, right? We put some dung in our pockets, we put it in our bags, you hide some in your shirt, you can even put some in your pants pockets. You can find that when you carry this shit around, you lose a lot of friends. Even the best friends don't seem to stay around as often. So carrying around the dung is a metaphor for when you sink into depression or into negativity or into anger. It's natural, and it's an understandable response to adversity, especially when it comes in a truckload and there's so much. But we can lose a lot of friends because it's also natural and understandable that our friends don't like being around us when we're so depressed. Moreover, the pile of dung gets no less, but the smell gets worse as it ripens. But fortunately, there's a second way. So, when we're dumped with this truckload of shit, you can heave a sigh, and then you can get down to work. Out come the wheelbarrow, the fork, the spade. You move all the dung into your wheelbarrow, bring it to the back of the house, and dig it into your garden. It's tiring, and it's difficult. Sometimes you need help. But there's no other option. Sometimes all you can manage is half a wheelbarrow a day. Some days, you just leave it. But you're doing something about the problem, rather than complaining your way. And day by day, we dig into the shit, and day by day, the pile gets smaller. Sometimes it takes years, but the morning does come, and we see that everything, all the dung in front of your house is all gone. And in another part of your house, a miracle has happened, and the flowers of your garden are bursting out in richness of color. Their fragrance wafts down the street so that your neighbors, even strangers passing by, smile. The fruit tree in the corner is nearly falling over, and the fruit is so sweet you can't buy anything like it. You're able to share it with your neighbors, and even passers-by can try. On your next inhale, press into your fingers, walk your hands back towards your body, sit up tall. Take a deep breath in. Now we're going to come forward onto our stomachs again. So untwist yourself whichever way is comfortable for you. Again, take whatever movements you need to even out your hips. You can sway them from side to side, pick them up, do some hip circles. And then coming down forward onto our stomachs, what you want to do is have your elbows directly underneath your shoulder blades and your palms pressed flat and fully into the mat. Let the tops of your feet come down, relax and sit here. Let your shoulders come onto your back, broaden your chest forward. And once you've gotten to a point where you can't bring your shoulders back any further, you're comfortable, you can just let your head drop down and relax so that the stretch is extended to the back of your neck. If that's too much for you, feel free to leave your head up. Just pick a neutral gaze somewhere in front of your fingertips. I'm going to finish reading this lovely story. So, when we welcome these tragedies as fertilizers for our lives, it's work that we have to do. But by digging into the gardens of our hearts day by day, that pile of pain gets less and less. Flowers of kindness burst forth, and the fragrance of love wafts all the way down the street to our friends, our neighbors, to passers-by. When we've known tragic pain and learned its lesson, grown our garden, then we can put our arms around each other and say softly, I know, and truly understand. Compassion begins. We can show others struggling with the same things that we did, the wheelbarrow, the fork, the spade, the tools that we used, and provide them with boundless encouragement. I've known many monks who are skilled in meditation, who are peaceful, composed, and serene in adversity, but only a few has become great teachers. I often wondered why. It seems to me now that those monks who had a relatively easy time of it, who had little dung to dig in, were the ones who didn't become teachers. It was the monks who had the enormous difficulties, dug them in quietly, and came through with a rich garden that became great teachers. They all had wisdom, serenity, and compassion, but those who had dealt with their shit had more to share with the world. Perhaps the moral of this story is that if you want to be of service to the world, if you want to follow the path of compassion, then the next time a tragedy occurs in your life, you can say, yes, more fertilizer for my garden. Get to work and share what you've learned along the way. A little cheesy, but I think it's a good reminder and a good thing of encouragement to know that we can make something beautiful out of the negative experiences in our lives and out of the difficult things that we do have to deal with. If you've gotten comfortable in Sphinx pose with that light back bend, you can push into your hands, straighten your arms without locking your elbows out. Let your shoulders come back onto your back. And drop your head down again. If you've come up into this seal pose, make sure that your breath is still strong, still relaxed, still not forced. On your next exhale, if you came up to seal, come back down to your forearms to Sphinx. And then lay it all the way down onto your belly. Take a second. Rest one cheek to one side of your mat. Scan into your body here. See how you're feeling. See what you're carrying with you. Notice what's coming up for you physically, emotionally, with tension. Often, as we start to release into the physical tension in our body, emotional stressors come up too. Totally normal. totally healthy. It's so good to feel everything. I love crying during Yin. Okay, so slowly and carefully roll onto your back. We're going to come into a figure 4. So if you want, you can first hug your knees into your chest. Roll from side to side, massage your low back, massage your hips. You can roll a little up and down, massage your whole spine, and then come still. Plant your feet down to the ground about hip width distance apart. Roll your shoulders onto your back, broaden your chest again. Pick up your right foot and cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flex your foot, actively press your right knee away from you, opening up that figure 4. If this is enough for you, that's totally fine, stay here. You should be feeling a stretch on the outer edge of your right hip. I'm doing this outside, sorry about the sirens, guys. If that's not enough for you, you can just hug your left knee, your left shin in towards your chest. Use your right elbow to push your right knee away from you. See where you're holding unnecessary tension, whether it's clenching your toes or your jaw, clenching your shoulders. Scan your body, see where you can relax. See if you can pull your left knee in deeper towards you, intensifying that stretch in your inner and your outer right hip. Notice your breath here. Is it deep and easy? As you lay here, try to resist little subtle movements, any kind of twitching. Try not to scratch your nose. I know I've been doing that through this. As you find that stillness in your body, try to follow it to the stillness in your mind. Let your thoughts drift away on the breeze of your breath. Don't latch on to them. Just enjoy this opportunity that we have to sit and be physically present in our body, fully mindful in this moment. If you've got your foot on the ground, see if you can move to the next step up. See if you can grab behind your left thigh to pull your left knee in closer to you. If you're grabbing behind your left thigh, see if you can grab the front of your left shin. Couple more breaths here. Slowly and carefully, if you're gripping onto your knee, relax it down to the ground. Carefully uncross your right foot from over your left, and then just take some windshield wipers with your knees. Let them come open, falling over the one side of your mat, closing, and then opening back over to the other side, closing again. Still your movements. Bring the soles of your feet flat down to the earth, hip width distance apart, and then carefully cross your left ankle over your right knee. Flex your foot. Press your left knee away from you. If this is enough here, totally fine. If not, start to hug your right knee in towards your body. Grab behind your right thigh or in front of your right shin. Use your left elbow to press your left knee away from you. Again, scan your body. See where you're holding unnecessary tension. Can hug that right knee in deeper towards your chest. Keep your breath relaxed, calm, smooth, steady here. Make sure you're at a place where you're working into that discomfort, actively using your breath to work into the outer edge of your left hip, but not pushing yourself so far that you're causing pain. Slowly and carefully release your right foot down to the mat. Uncross your left ankle from your right knee. Do some windshield wipers. Shake out, relax your hips. And then from here we're going into Happy Baby, which is one of my faves. So you're going to hug your knees in towards your chest, flex your feet, and bring your knees to your chest, right? And then, if you can, reach out. Take the outer edges of your feet and start to pull your hips open. You can sway from side to side here, massaging your low back. This is one where I won't force the stillness. Take whatever movements your body needs here. You can grab your big toes with your 2 pointer fingers. Straighten one leg, the other leg, both legs. Whatever feels good to you right now. You can hug your heels in towards your hips. You're still holding on to the outer edges of your feet if that feels good to you. And then slowly coming to find stillness. Letting your knees come up towards your armpits. Using your hands to pull the outer edges of your feet, encouraging your knees closer to the mat. Y'all, this may be like super physically or emotionally uncomfortable for you, and if it is, I really want you to honor that. I used to have a lot of trouble with Happy Baby pose. It's a really vulnerable position, but it is so good. We store so much psychological and emotional trauma in our hips to be able to just sit with these feelings, breathe into it, recognize that we are safe and supported. Remember that you're here on your mat taking this time for yourself. And I'm so proud of you for that. Take a couple deep breaths. Inhale, fill up your belly. Feel how your knees move with that, and then exhale. Let it go. I think Faith's neighbor is home. So from here, let your heels go. Hug your knees in towards your chest. And then you can roll your back from side to side again, massage your low spine. You can hug your knees, go in circles. Whatever's comfortable for you. And then find some stillness. Wow, she was like super quiet and respectful. That was nice. So from here, we're going to go into a supine twist. So hug your right knee in towards your chest. Stretch your left leg out long. Let your left heel come down to the floor. Keep your left heel firmly planted. Fully relax your left leg down. And then start to hug your knee in tightly. If you love your knee, get up and kiss your knee. It's your best knee ever. And then bring your right shoulder down to the mat. You can have like a goalpost arm at like a right angle, or if you have the space for it, stretch your arm all the way out in a T. Keep that right shoulder firmly planted to the ground as you slowly start to roll your right knee over to the left side. If you're really tight like me, it might not come anywhere close to the floor right now. That's totally fine. The important thing is that you keep your right shoulder down to the mat, okay? And then just start to relax. It may feel scary or uncomfortable. And just trust that gravity and that your fascia in your body is going to hold you up. And surrender to that pull. You can keep your left palm to your right knee to help guide it down, but don't pull or push too much. If you want to extend that twist, you can turn your head so that you're looking over your right shoulder, stretching all the way up the back side of your neck, your cervical spine. As you inhale, notice that space that's created when your belly presses into your leg, and then exhale. Use that opportunity to pull and guide your right knee closer to the floor. Another deep inhale. And exhale. One more time, inhale. And exhale, let it go. On your next inhale, slowly and carefully roll back onto your back, hugging your right knee into your chest. Ah, such a good knee. Then exhale, carefully switch your legs, hug your left knee in, stretch your right leg out. Let your right heel come down to the mat, relax your right hip down. Start to hug your left knee in tighter, come up, hug your knee, kiss your knee. This is your other best knee ever. You've got twins. Left shoulder comes down to the mat, goalpost arm, or in a T, whatever's most comfortable for you. And then slowly, carefully, start rolling your left knee over to your right side, keeping your left shoulder planted firmly into the ground. You can look over your left shoulder, extend that twist. Big inhale, create space. And exhale, fully surrender your body down into the mat. Surrender your knee towards your right side. Inhale again. Let it go. Last time, big inhale. And exhale. Just kidding, we're going to stay here a couple more breaths. Just keep breathing. Keep relaxing down. See where you're not necessarily holding tension in your shoulders and your jaw and your forehead. Touching your tongue to the roof of your mouth. Just let it all go. Let your hips go. For your next inhale, slowly, carefully roll back onto your back. Hug your left knee in. Hug both knees in. Best knees ever. Take whatever final movements you need before Shavasana, corpse pose. And that's rolling side to side, making some circles. You do you. Find stillness. Hug your knees into your chest. And then inhale. Hug your knees tightly. Bring your head up to meet them. Clench every muscle in your body. Press yourself away from the floor. Touch your toes, your face. Hold your breath. Make your face into a big smile. And then exhale and let it all go. Let your heels fall to the opposite corners of your mat. Let the backs of your hands come down next to your hips. You need to roll your shoulders onto your back. Broaden that space in your chest. And let your breath go. Let that awareness go. Let your thoughts go. Simply lay and be. Let all the benefits of that work we just did soak into your body. Relax your toes. Relax your ankles. Let your calves melt into the mat below you. Relax your knees. Notice your quads, your hamstrings, your thighs releasing. Surrender your hips down. Stop clenching your glutes, your low back, your pelvic floor. Relax your core, your low ribs. Relax your upper back and your shoulders. Feel your palms facing up towards the sky or pressing down into the ground, grounding. Notice your points of contact with the mat, your hips, your feet, your hands, your shoulders. Relax your neck. Let your cervical spine lengthen, pulling your chin lightly towards your chest. Relax the hinges of your jaws. Relax your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your eyes deeper into their sockets and relax the furrow of your brow. And then slowly, once again, become aware of your breath. Deepen your breath through your belly, your low ribs, your chest. And exhale, empty your body, from your chest to your ribs, to your belly. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can circle your wrists, your ankles. Slowly reaching up overhead like it's the first time you're waking up today. You carefully roll onto one side using your upper arm as a pillow. And take a second and pause here. Reflect on your practice and on your body with gratitude. Thank yourself for showing up today for this class. Thank yourself for supporting yourself, really. Making decisions that are right for you. Plant your hand that's not your pillow close to your face. Slowly, carefully, with closed or soft eyes, press your way up to sit in a comfortable position. One leg crossed in front of the other. Bring your palms to touch at heart center, thumbs against your sternum. Relax your shoulders down your back, lengthen your spine through the crown of your head. Relax your heart. I want to thank all of you for coming to practice with me today. I want to thank Faith and Rape Counselors of East Alabama for giving me this platform to practice on, and for all of my followers for listening to me talk about them. The light in me sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Alright, so that was that. Thank you all for being here. If you want to support Rape Counselors of East Alabama, there are donation links that I will post in my bio that you can follow. There are also lots of educational programs and content that my friend Faith has that I will share on my page, and I'll tag them, so definitely follow them. You can stay up to date on everything that they're doing. As for me, I teach classes at the yoga room. I'm so happy to have my class there back. My first one since I left for the Dominican Republic will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. If you're in Auburn, please join me. And as for more online yoga, I'll keep y'all posted. What's everybody saying? Oh, hey Jill. Oh, hey Elizabeth. Cool. Thank y'all for being here. Bye. Wow, this is super bright.